Good afternoon, groovy citizens, and happy, satisfying Saturday. Now, before I go into anything else, let me say this. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Okay? Do that for me, please. Please, thank you. And make sure you tap the thumbs up button because it helps the algorithm to get my videos out to more people. And for my new subscribers, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all of you. But again, to my newest subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, what was I going to say? Before I jump into my topic, you guys, I charge it to my head and never to my heart. Because I realized last night at about 6:30, 6:45, that little voice said, Michelle, you didn't do a video. And I thought, holy crap, I forgot that yesterday was Friday and I did not do my video. And so unfortunately, like I said, when I thought about it, I couldn't do it. It was too late because it is a car conversation. And at that time, it's already dark outside. So I couldn't go sit in the dark and talk to you about anything. Plus, I wasn't going to. So I said, well, you know what? Not a problem. Just do the video today and we're back on schedule. And speaking of today, I am back on schedule with my podcast. So if you click on the link that says Linktree in the bio, that will take you, you'll see where you can click on to go to my podcast. So after I do this video, I need to run across the street to CVS because I need to get something for my nose keeps drying up and stopping up at night, so I need to go get something for that. Plus I need some face primer. And then I'm gonna come back and record today's podcast because I decided I'm not missing any more podcasts. Actually, I have 2 podcasts that I'm going to record today, and then tomorrow I have 2 more that I'm going to record. That way I will have all of November's podcast taken care of. I know I'm a little bit behind, but that's because I've been busy doing so many other things, you guys. I'm telling you, between work and the book project, you guys, it is done. It is done. It is finished. Ross and I, we started going over it. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, I believe it was, no, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. But anyway, we started going over it. We're up to chapter 9. We have like 22, 23 chapters. And once we, do the final walkthrough, it'll be done. I just need to cover. I can upload it on up into Amazon and we can get it out on the market. Fingers crossed by the 1st of December, just in time for the holidays. And the name of that book is The Secret Love Society. I promise you, you will love it. You hear what I'm saying? And that's all I'm going to say. Now, let's jump into today's topic. Today's topic is Stoic rules. Wait a minute. 25 Stoic rules for a better life. I didn't make this stuff up. I just found it. I thought it was great and I wanted to share it with you. So Marcus Aurelius said, nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear. And I like that because even the Bible tells us that nothing ever just happens. Whatever happens to you, trust and believe God has ordained it even to happen, and he's right there with you as you go along the way. So this is a reminder that we are all capable of handling the challenges that life throws our way. It is a painful message of hope. A powerful, not painful. It is a powerful message of hope and resilience, especially in the face of adversity. You see, even the most difficult of experiences can be an opportunity for growth. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're going through right now. It doesn't matter what you've gone through, and it doesn't even matter what you're going to go through. Everything that you go through is an opportunity for growth. And I know you might be saying, but Michelle, you don't understand. My significant other left me. I'm getting a divorce. Whatever it may be, I lost all my money. It doesn't matter. That is still an opportunity for growth because it's going to grow you into being a better person, a more responsible person, someone that's daring to think bigger, to dream bigger, to reach bigger, all of that stuff. So when things happen, I know it doesn't feel good. I know it doesn't, but look at it as an opportunity for growth. Do you know what I do? I'm going to share this with you and we're going to move on. Anytime something happens, I always say, all right, Lord, you know what I'm dealing with? Show me how I can grow from this. Show me how I can be blessed by whatever it is that's happened. And when I tell you that every time I've ever had to deal with something in my life, God always shows me a way that I can be blessed by it, because I can turn whatever that negative thing is into something more positive. So let's jump right on in. Rule number 1. Understand what is within your control. While we can't control what goes on around us, we can control our responses. And we've talked about that a lot lately. Always know that you control how you respond to things. If somebody decides they want to cuss you out, you control whether or not you cuss them out, or you just say, you know what, they're not even worth my time, and keep it moving. Rule number 2, embrace adversity as a path to virtue. Difficulties are a natural part of life. So if we embrace adversity, we can exercise resilience and develop the rituals of courage and wisdom. This requires us to have a shift in our perspective. And that's, you know what, essentially that's what everything is about. It's shifting your perspective. Do you see the glass as half empty or half full? Rule number 3, practice emotional resilience. By mastering your emotions, you can respond to life's challenges with calm and wisdom. Our emotional responses are definitely in our control. Just like you control what comes out of your mouth, you control your emotions. You can decide if you're going to allow something to make you feel sad, or allow something to make you feel happy, or allow something to make you feel down and depressed, and the list can go on and on and on. You are in control of that, just like I am in control of it. Rule number 4, cultivate wisdom through continuous learning. I'm sorry, I was just looking at my neighbor to figure out why she's standing in front of my driveway. We must always be learning and open to new ideas. While we are open to continuous learning, we are then able to, when we are open to continuous learning, we are then able to adapt to changing circumstances as they happen. I tell people every day, or often I should say, that every day you should be open to learning something new. When I get up in the morning and I have my prayer meditation time, my request to God is, Lord, let me learn something new today that I did not know yesterday. I always want to be learning. I never want to get to a place where I think I know it all and I can't learn anything, because see, then when that happens, you're doomed. I'm sorry, you just are. You cannot think that you know everything, because you don't. And I don't know everything, and I don't claim to. So make that a part of your daily routine to learn something new every day. Rule number 5, choose virtue over temporary pleasures. We must choose actions that align with our core values. Always consider the long-term consequences of your choices by prioritizing virtues such as integrity, kindness, and justice over external rewards. We've got to learn that before we make a decision, we have to ask ourselves, is what I want right now, does that line up with my virtues? Does that line up with the person that I am? And how is that going to affect me in the long run? Because sometimes the things that you think you want now, you say, oh, I'm willing to deal with the consequences, but are you really? Are you really? So really think about that. Rule number 6, reflect on the transience of life, meaning we must appreciate the present moment and release attachments to the things that are temporary. Excuse me. I knew I should have brought my water with me. So while it is important for us to live in the moment, we also have to release attachments to things that are temporary. And there are a lot of things in this world that are temporary, and I don't have time to go and try to break that down for you, but just that's something to think about. Rule number 7, practice gratitude. And y'all know I talk about this all the time. We must appreciate our blessings, no matter how big or small they may be. Be thankful for what you have and stop focusing on what you don't have. Too often, way too often, we all have done this. And if you say you haven't, you're telling the tale. But we all have done this, and we'll say, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have the other. And you're so busy staying focused on what you don't have, excuse me, that you don't stop to think about what you do have. I've had times where I had to say, Lord, I don't have ABCXYZ. And that I desire those things. But I do want to say thank you for allowing me to have, and then I go down the list. What does the song say? Count your blessings, name them one by one. Yeah, that's what I do. I go down the list and I start to thank God for the things that I do have. Here's the difference. I mention the things that I do have to God. I'm not going to share it with Susie and Judy and Bob because they can't do anything for me. But I go down the list and I thank God for the things that I do have. And I focus all of my time and attention on the things that I have, not what I don't have. Rule number 9, face fears with courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Facing your fears becomes a path to personal growth and strength. Therefore, we must face challenges with a courageous mindset. I'm going to tell you something. Too often, and it's interesting because I'm actually working on something now. It'll be a podcast that I'm talking about fear, but too often we allow our fears to keep us from doing the things that we want to do. We allow our fears to keep us from doing the things that God has called us to do, and that's not good at all. That is never good. When God has called you to do something, you need to get it done, because I'm going to tell you what I know. When God calls you to do something and you're not doing it, he will stay on you until you get it done. Have you ever had a time where you say, all right, Lord, I yield. What is it that I need to do to get this thing done? Because that thing will stay with you from now until he comes back. And you will get it done. Sorry if you all hear the blower going, but I cut my heat on. It's 41 degrees outside. But he will stay on you until you get it done. And he stays on you to get it done because he knows that in the long run, you're going to be blessed for it. And a lot of times our fear can cause us to miss out on our blessings because we're afraid to step out there and do things. And I get it. There are a lot of things that I'm afraid to do. But you know what? I get myself together. I hold my head up. I square my shoulders and I go ahead and I do it. I pray about it. I take God with me, but then I go ahead and I do it because I know that if I don't do it, all I'm doing is shortchanging myself. I'm not hurting anybody else if I don't do that thing that God has called me to do. Excuse me, y'all, because now my sinuses are draining. They were stopped up. Rule number 10, exercise self-discipline. Everything we do should have a reason and not just because we are acting on our impulses. That right there is something that I think everybody struggles with. Too often we do things just for the sake of doing it. But I notice that the older I'm getting, I stop and I say to myself, now, Michelle, why are you doing this? Why do you want this? Why do you want that? Why do you want the other? And if the only reason I can come up with is because I just want it, that's not good enough. So just exercise some self-discipline. That will take you a long way in life. Rule number 11, strive for inner harmony. This is where we foster a sense of balance and peace. Inner harmony means there is a coherence between one's beliefs, values, and actions. That is something that you will have to work out for yourself, because I don't know what it is that you believe in. I don't know what your values are or the actions that you need to take, but you need to make sure that you have that inner harmony and they are all in alignment. Rule number 12, accept the inevitable. We must recognize that some things are just beyond our control, and we must embrace the fact that we can't change them. I know it's difficult. I do. I know that it is difficult. Excuse me. When I was writing my notes and I saw that was one of the lessons about accepting the inevitable. It made me think about all of the things that you and I cannot change. You can't be good enough. You can't obey God enough to stay on this earth forever. That's the inevitable. That you come in this world knowing that at some point you're going to leave. And it's just nothing you can do about that. So, but what you can do is live life to the fullest, such that when it is your time to transition, you can say, I've done everything that I was designated to do. I did everything that God instructed me to do, that God blessed me to do. And then God can sit back and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Because I don't know about you, but I want to hear that when my name is called. You understand what I'm saying? And just understanding that there are so many things in life that we just cannot control. That car that you're driving right now, it's not going to last forever. And eventually you are going to have to buy another one. The car, my truck that I'm sitting in right now, this is paid for, but it won't last forever. At some point in time, I will have to get another one. Now, thank God I have another one, but I'm just saying, if I want to replace this one, at some point in time, I will have to do that. Nothing lasts forever. That's just like when you look at people and, excuse me, you guys, it seems like they're on top of the world. Everything is going good for them. Life is just falling into place for them everywhere they go. That is wonderful. I applaud you, I congratulate you, and I ask God to continue to bless you. However, the reality is that nothing lasts forever. And at some point in time, those same people that you see living high on the hill, it won't always be that way. It just won't. And as I said that, y'all made me think of, y'all know my favorite song. If you're going through something right now, let me tell you what the psalmist says. It won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning me. Sooner or later, it'll turn in my favor. It's turning around for me. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. That whatever it is that you're dealing with, that you're going through, you cannot control the things that are beyond your control, but just know that God is turning around. And whatever it is that you're going through, it won't last always. Rule number 13, act justly in all endeavors. So we must appreciate everything with a commitment to fairness and justice. This includes ethical behavior. We must approach everything with a commitment to fairness and justice. This includes ethical behavior. So act justly in everything that you do. That means in how you treat people, what you do when folks are watching, as well as what you do when folks are not watching. Rule number 14, exercise temperance in desires, meaning we must find contentment and tranquility in life. Excessive desires can and often do lead to discontent and inner turmoil. So you must exercise temperance in your desires. and again, that thing that you desire, is it something that you have to have? Is getting it going to hurt somebody else? Is it going to take something away from somebody else? You need to think about all of those things. Rule number 15, face criticism with humility. Let's start to face criticism as a means for self-improvement and personal growth. You know, nobody likes to be criticized. Let's just keep it real. They don't. However, and because if you take the criticism from other people and you internalize it and say, okay, this person said that I do ABCXYZ. How can I fix myself? How can I grow from what they're saying and become a better person? Now, I get it. I do get it, because I hear you in the back of the room. I hear what you're saying. You're saying, but Michelle, it's not about what people say so much as how they say it. And I understand that. I do understand that, because somebody can tell you that you need to clean up your act. if you want to do better in life, or if you want to get the most out of life. That sounds different than somebody saying you are nothing, you're never going to be anything, and no matter what you do, you're always going to be just a big blob of nothing. Do you see how those two things sound completely different? You will want to change if somebody says you need to clean up your act, because if you want to go far, you're going to have to do some different things, versus somebody standing there telling you that you're nothing, you're never going to be anything, no matter what you do in life. You're not apt to change when you hear that. First of all, that's going to make you shut down. You're in your feelings, you're going to shut down. You're going to want to cuss somebody or fight somebody. So I do agree with you. It's not always what people say, it's the way they say it. But yet and still, I say, when people feel the need to criticize you, let me say this, sometimes you're bothered by the fact that somebody decided to criticize you and you didn't even ask them for their opinion, but I digress. When somebody decides to criticize you, take that criticism and learn from it. Take that criticism and become a better person. If somebody criticizes you and say you're nasty, you don't know how to talk to people, and you're rude, internalize that and say, you know what, maybe I am. So I'm going to change the way I talk to people and come off as being more caring and more open, where I'm not being called rude and obnoxious. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't let that criticism tear you down where you want to go sit in a corner somewhere and do nothing. No, you take that criticism and you learn from it. So see, here's the other thing, and I'm going to let you be on that note. The other thing is, a lot of times people think that they're hurting you, that they're tearing you down by criticizing you. But what they don't know is you're taking that criticism and you're going to use it to make yourself a better person. Come on, somebody. Rule number 16, cherish time and its value. We should always be using our time wisely and appreciate its fleeting nature. Our choices should always be deliberate. When we talk about cherishing time and its value, I don't know about you all, but time is something that we don't all have a lot of. Yes, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We do. But when it comes to spending time with our loved ones, our friends, whatever it is, time is short. Your time is short. My time is short. Our time is short. And this is why I'm always telling people, value the time that you have. Value the time that you can spend with your family. That's why I am so thankful that we have a family reunion every year. I know a lot of people that don't have them at all, or they only have them every other year. But I'm thankful that we have one every year, and I value that time because I enjoy being able to spend time with my family. Now, I am thankful, excuse me, for social media, because a lot of them I get to see on YouTube or Instagram or even TikTok. For some, I get to see them all year long. Others I only get to see at the family reunion. And when we get together, it's almost like we just saw each other. And it's just a great time. And I use that example to say you've got to value the time you have, because the worst thing that you can do, is not value being able to spend time with your family. Whether you do or not, it's something different. But you have that time to spend with your family members and your friends because they're here. And the same people that don't, when that person is laying in a box on the day of their funeral, then you want to go falling all over their casket, crying and falling out, your wig slipping back and you're breaking the heel, talking about, oh Lord, why me? Why'd you have to take them? Shut up and go sit down, because you should have spent time with them when they were still here. You neglected to do that, and now that time is gone and you can't spend time with them, and now you want to fall out and act a flaming fool. If you don't sit yourself down somewhere. But I digress. Rule number 17, build resilience through hardship. Remember that difficulties are not hindrances, but essential components of personal development. It is through our hardships that we grow the most. I don't know about you all, but when I've had rough times in my life, that's when I grew the most. And I know that about myself, and I'm pretty sure you've experienced the same thing. But just understand, like I said, that difficulties are not hindrances, but essential components of personal development. If you don't have a test, if you're never tested, how can you have a testimony without a test? Come on, somebody. Think about it. Look at your hardship as that. That's your testimony right there. You can talk about how you were able to come out of whatever it is that you came out of. You can talk about how God was with you and kept you from losing your mind when you lost whatever it is that you lost. Rule number 18, practice mindfulness in the present. This will free your mind of any past regrets and future anxieties. Practice mindfulness in the present. I've talked about that before. We have got to learn to live in the present. We have to stop living in the past. I'm not saying don't forget. I'm not saying don't forget, but I am saying we have to stop living in the past. And the truth be told, whatever I said 20 minutes ago is in the past, because I can't go back and change it. Whatever I did yesterday is the past. Whatever I did last week, last month, last year, last decade, last century, whatever, it is in the past. If it's not happening right now, it's the past. And so we need to cherish the time that we have right now and stop worrying about the past or even the future, because the future is not guaranteed. You can't change the past, but the future is not guaranteed to you. So you need to value what you have right here and now. That's why sometimes it bothers me when I see people out. Yeah, and I'm a people watcher. I always said I wish I could get paid to watch people, but I see people out and they're sitting down and they're eating. And as soon as they get to the table, everybody's looking at the menu. And once they place their orders, guess what happens? Everybody pulls out their cell phone and hands are just going, just going. And people are laughing at stuff. They're showing somebody whatever it is that they're looking at, or everybody's just in their own phone. And a lot of times they do that up until the meal comes. And then sometimes they put their phones down and eat. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're eating and still on their phone. But there's no conversation being had at the table. Do you know how horrible that is, not to be able to value that time right there that you have together with your family, your friends, or whoever you're with? Because that's time that you can never get back. Think about that. Rule number 17. We're on rule number 17. No, 17. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Here it is. Rule number 19. Seek wisdom in every experience. Approach every experience with curiosity and a commitment to continuous learning. In short, we should seek to extract valuable lessons from both positive and negative experiences. Again, you will not get through this life without having some type of experience, be it positive or negative, okay? So you might as well take what you can of value, because there is a lesson, a valuable lesson in whatever issues you're going through, good, bad, or indifferent. There is a valuable lesson. That's why I don't know about you all, but anytime I've gone through something, I say, Lord, now what's the lesson that you want me to get from this? What is the takeaway from whatever that thing is? And I promise you, if you ask God to show it to you, He will. He will reveal what that thing is. But you've got to be open to receiving it. Rule number 20, cultivate inner silence. This allows us to create moments of reflection and contemplation in the midst of life's chaos. That inner stillness will allow you to achieve clarity and tranquility. Sometimes you have to make up in your mind that you're going to just get away and just have a moment or two of silence. You do. It's nice to be around people, but every now and then you've got to get away and just be silent. Just be quiet and just listen. And I don't know about you all, but I tend to do that, where I have times where I go in my room and I say, all right, Lord, what is it that you need me to know? What is it that you want me to do? What is my next move, Lord? Excuse me. What is it that I can do to better please you, oh God? I need to hear from you now. And then I just get quiet. I do. I just get quiet. Sometimes I sit with my eyes closed. But whatever it is I'm doing, I'm not on my phone. I'm not watching television. I'm not looking at movies. I'm not doing anything but just truly listening. Sometimes I will have my quiet, it's called Native American flute music. I have that playing in the background softly because I'm listening. I want to hear from God. I don't know about you, but I want to hear from God. Now, sometimes it means me picking up my Bible, excuse me, and reading through some scriptures to hear from God as well, because God does speak to us through scriptures, in case you didn't know that. But yeah, he does. But again, it all starts with you getting quiet, having some quiet time. You don't need anybody else around you. It's just you and God. That's it. And you say, okay, Lord, I have an ear to hear, and I'm listening. What is it that you want me to know? Simple as that. Rule number 21, face death with equanimity. Doing this frees us from the fear of mortality and allowing us to embrace life fully. For we know that death is a natural part of life, and it is. I talked about that early on. Death is a natural part of life. It's something that you can't change. You can't stop it. You can't even really delay it because when it's your time, it's your time. So it's important, good God, excuse me, it's important that we face it with the realization that it's going to happen to all of us. Now, I don't know about you, but I pray about it and I say, Lord, allow us to have a long-lasting life of prosperity, oh God. Let us not leave this world because of by somebody else's hand, or because of sickness. Those things are horrible. Death in general is horrible, but those things are truly horrible. But again, it's inevitable. So face death with equanimity. If you know somebody right now that's going down that road, just understand that, hey, they've lived a good life. They've done all they can. And now God is saying, all right, it's time to come on back home. You can't do anything about it, so why stress over it? Sometimes people deal with death. They're mad. They're angry. They claim that they hate God. They don't believe in God. And I mean, it just gets downright ugly sometimes. Do I understand it? Absolutely. But the reality is that death is something that's going to happen. And there's nothing that we can do about it. Rule number 22, be mindful of language. We should all seek to use thoughtful language or speech that aligns with Stoic virtues. Our words have a great impact on our well-being. Now, when I talk about that, what comes to my mind is that not only the way in which we talk to other people, but also how we talk to ourselves. It's interesting to me when I hear somebody say, Michelle, I don't think I'm worthy enough. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm pretty enough. I'm smart enough. I'm talented enough. I'm not perfect. And I say, well, the Bible says you have what you say. You've got to speak life into you, because if you sit back waiting for other people to do it, sweetie, you might be waiting for a long time. So you've got to speak life into yourself. You get up every day and you tell yourself, I am worthy enough. I am good enough. I am pretty enough. I am handsome enough. I am smart enough. I deserve all the good things that God sees fit to give me. Okay, so you've done some things in your life that you're not proud of, but the reality is that you've done them. You can't change it. You've asked God to forgive you. God's forgiven you, so why can't you forgive yourself? So we like to harp on the things that other people say about us, but what are you saying about you? Think about what comes out of your mouth. I mean, really think about that. Or I hear people say, well, Michelle, I'm going to do ABCXYZ, as soon as I get my life together, as soon as I become a better person, because I'm not perfect. No, you're not. None of us are. None of us are perfect. And truth be told, a lot of us are in jobs that we don't deserve. A lot of us are in homes that we don't deserve. We're driving cars that we don't deserve. We're in relationships that we don't deserve because we don't value the people that we're with. We just have a lot of blessings that we truly don't deserve, but I am thankful. I am so thankful that every day that God sees fit to wake us up, he gives us new blessings and new mercies every single day. You're not running off of yesterday's blessings and mercies. No, he gave you new blessings and mercies today. And I'm thankful for that. Number 23. Practice charity and compassion. As we go through life, we must practice humility and empathy for others. You have got to show empathy towards others, because there's always going to be somebody somewhere that has less than you have, and they are in need. So don't you ever walk around snubbing your nose at anybody, because there, by the grace of God, you are just a throne's throw away from being where they are. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what you do for a living. But in the twinkling of an eye, just like that, God can take it all away. And it's happened to people before. You've had millionaires that just had everything under the sun, could do anything they wanted. Money was never an issue. And just like that, it was gone. So don't you ever walk around here snubbing your nose at anybody. Rule number 24, strive for excellence. Strive for excellence, not perfection. The pursuit of excellence, tempered by humility, leads to a more meaningful and resilient life. This principle encourages us to focus on continuous improvement and virtuous living rather than an unattainable idea of perfection. Striving for excellence causes us to set realistic goals and recognize that perfection is an unrealistic standard. So in essence, if you go through life thinking that you have to be perfect in order to get things, to do things, and all that other good stuff, honey, you're going to be waiting forever, because none of us are perfect. I know social media makes you think that some people are perfect. Let me just tell you something. That's not true. People can show you what they want you to see on social media. You have people who will show you that they have all the latest everything. They have this great life. They have this great spouse, these wonderful children, this beautiful home, this nice car. All of that. You see it on social media and you think, wow, I wish I was like that person, because they have everything. God is always blessing them. But little do you know, behind the scenes, that perfect relationship is not so perfect, because there's abuse there. There's mistrust there. There's cheating there. And when I say abuse, I'm talking physical and verbal. The kids that you think are perfect, honey, they are running around doing everything under the sun. But they're not going to post that on social media. They want you to think they have these great kids. That big, beautiful home they live in, they're struggling to pay for it. They are struggling to pay for it, and they're probably 2-3 payments behind and in jeopardy of losing that home. That car that you wish you was driving that they have, again, they're behind 2-3 payments, and they're coming very close to having it repoed, but they paint the picture that they have this great life. And you think, wow, I wish I could be like them. Stop. Be like you. I don't want to be like a soul in this world. I want to be like Michelle. Now, would you like to have some of these folks' money? Of course you would. But always strive to be like you. Don't try to be like anybody else, because, like I said, social media has made it such that a lot of the stuff that you see, you think it's great, and it really isn't. It is not what you think it is. But people can put it out there and make it seem like it. Rule number 25, last but not least, I'm going to let you all go because this video has gotten to be almost 40 minutes. Rule number 25, strive for inner harmony. This will give you a sense of balance and peace. In essence, your thoughts, actions, and virtues are all aligned. I don't know about you, but striving for inner harmony helps to make life so much easier. Sometimes you have people that are going through life and they have this inner turmoil, and it's just like this. It's just always stuff going on internally. I want everything to be balanced and in alignment with me. And that's what I strive for every day. So what did I say? I talked about how your thoughts, your actions, and your virtues are all in alignment. You get to that part, and honey, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have a great life. You will have a great life. It's not all about having the latest things or having a bunch of money or this high-paying job, this big house, this expensive car. It's about having your striving for inner harmony. That's where you find wealth and inner harmony. So, having said that, you guys, that's it. That's all. I'm going to let you be because this video actually ended up being much longer than I wanted it to be, but it's okay. Sometimes that happens. If you're new to watching my videos, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. I miss you guys, and you know the drill. You know the spiel. Oh, well, first of all, I miss you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But you know the drill. You know the spiel. I love you to the moon and back, and there is nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you can ever do about it, because I'm going to love you. No matter what. No matter what, I'm going to love you. I'm going to encourage you because I believe that the best is yet to come. And I believe that you have so much to offer this world if you only believe in yourself. That's it. That's all, you guys. Love you. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll talk again on Monday.